The dark side of retiring abroad, what no one tells you. It's real, it's hidden in plain sight, and it catches even the smartest retirees off guard. You've seen the dreamy Instagram posts, palm trees, wine by the sea, and smiling expats living the life. But there's a quieter story that rarely gets told, a story that begins after the honeymoon phase fades and reality settles in. This video isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to prepare you. Honestly, calmly, and without sugarcoating. Because retiring abroad can be a beautiful chapter, but only if you understand what's waiting between the lines. Welcome to Restful Wealth, where we give you the real scoop on smart retirement living around the world. Today, we're going beyond the brochures and highlighting what most people wish they knew before they booked that one-way ticket. Stick around. What you don't know could cost you more than money. If you're ready to retire smarter, hit the like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. Number 1. Loneliness and isolation. Retirement abroad is often painted as a non-stop vacation. Golden beaches, fresh markets, a slower pace of life. But what no one tells you is this: retirement paradise can feel like a social desert. You might wake up to the sound of waves, but go to bed feeling like the only person on the island. Loneliness is one of the most underestimated challenges of retiring overseas. You leave behind more than just a zip code. You leave behind your support system. Old friends, familiar routines, the neighbor who waves every morning, your favorite coffee shop where they know your order. And in many countries, especially where the culture values privacy or tight-knit family circles, it's not always easy to break in. Locals might be polite but distant, and even expat communities can sometimes feel cliquish or transient. The real sting often comes during life's milestones, when a grandchild is born or a loved one falls ill and you are thousands of miles away, relying on video calls and updates instead of hugs. But here's the good news. This challenge is manageable. Start building your expat network before you move. Join forums, attend virtual meetups, follow local community groups. Creating connections ahead of time makes landing softer and friendships quicker to grow. You don't have to be alone abroad, but you do have to be intentional. Number 2. Language and culture shock. Let's be honest, moving to a new country in retirement sounds exciting, until you find yourself standing in a pharmacy, unable to read the label on your medication. Suddenly, that beautiful foreign script becomes more confusing than charming. And trying to explain yourself in a bank, hospital, or government office without the right words can leave you feeling powerless in moments that matter most. Language isn't just about vocabulary, it's about access. Without it, daily life can feel like a never-ending game of charades, and not the fun kind. Whether it's figuring out if you're buying milk or yogurt, or realizing too late that you misread a legal document, the smallest miscommunications can snowball into big frustrations. And then comes the culture shock. In many countries, bureaucracy moves at a different rhythm. You might be asked for copies of forms you've already submitted, in triplicate, or told, vaguely, to come back tomorrow, again and again. It's not rudeness, it's just how things are done. Still, it can wear down even the most patient expat. Even social norms can trip you up. A gesture that's polite back home might come across as strange or even offensive abroad. Humor, sarcasm, and small talk don't always translate either, making it difficult to form deeper connections. But here's the reassuring truth. You're not just retiring in a new place, you're learning a new way to be understood. Start learning the language early, even just the basics. Embrace curiosity, not frustration. Laugh at the misunderstandings. They make for the best stories later. Culture shock isn't a sign you've made the wrong choice. It's proof that you're growing into a new chapter of life. One word, one smile, one shared moment at a time. Number 3. Financial traps and surprise costs. That dreamy budget spreadsheet, the one that showed you could live like royalty abroad on your modest pension, may not tell the whole story. On paper, everything looks affordable, but once you land, reality often brings hidden price tags you never saw coming. Let's start with inflation. In many popular retirement spots, prices can rise unpredictably. Rent that was $500 a month when you arrived could quietly climb to $700 a year later. And if your income is tied to a foreign currency, things get even trickier. A shift in exchange rates can shrink your spending power overnight, especially in countries where the local currency is volatile. Then there's gringo pricing, a real and common experience in many destinations. From apartments to taxi rides to everyday groceries, some vendors charge foreigners more simply because they assume you can pay. It's not always malicious, sometimes it's just part of the unspoken rules of local commerce, but it adds up fast. Banking abroad can also throw curveballs. Want to open a local account to avoid international fees? You might need residency paperwork, a tax number, or even a local guarantor. And those small fees for transferring money internationally? They quietly nibble away at your income, especially if you're sending money often or using the wrong platforms. The bottom line? If something feels too cheap or too easy, there's probably fine print, written in a language you haven't mastered yet. Here's a little trick. Talk to local expats, consult trusted financial advisors, and always leave room in your budget for the unexpected. Living well abroad isn't just about cost, it's about clarity and preparation. Smart planning today can save you from stressful surprises tomorrow. Number 4. Healthcare reality. One of the biggest myths about retiring abroad is that healthcare will be cheaper and just as good, maybe even better, than back home. And while that can be true in some places, the full picture is far more complex. This is where the dream of tropical sunsets often collides with the reality of real-world care. Yes, you might find an excellent local doctor warm, knowledgeable, and affordable. But what if you need surgery? In many countries, the nearest well-equipped hospital could be hours away, especially if you're living in a quiet beach town or mountain village. In an emergency, distance matters, and so does time. Another curveball. In some places, pharmacies will sell you medications that would require a prescription back home. That sounds convenient until you realize there's no consistent regulation, and you might not be getting the right drug or dosage for your condition. And then there are the emergencies no one likes to think about. Ambulances might be slow or unavailable. Language barriers can cause confusion during critical procedures. Medical evacuation? It's not only stressful. It can cost tens of thousands of dollars if you're not properly insured. Even long-term care, like assisted living or home nursing, is often limited, expensive, or culturally handled within families, not professional facilities. That's a tough adjustment if you need help down the road and don't have close relatives nearby. In a nutshell, you're not just retiring, you're aging. And aging gracefully abroad means planning for care before you need it. Research local hospitals, know your insurance coverage inside and out, and consider what aging in place realistically looks like in your chosen destination. Healthcare abroad can work beautifully, but only if you go in with open eyes and a solid plan. Number 5. Legal and visa headaches. Retiring abroad often feels like a fresh start. New culture, new experiences, new lease on life. But one of the most overlooked realities is this. You're still a guest in someone else's country. And just like any house guest, how long you can stay and under what conditions isn't always up to you. Visa rules can change suddenly. What was once a guaranteed retirement visa with easy entry and permanent benefits can be suspended, tightened, or completely rewritten overnight. Countries adjust their immigration laws all the time, especially when politics shift or tourism booms. And guess what? Expats are usually the first to feel the squeeze. Overstaying your visa isn't just a slap on the wrist. In many countries, it can lead to heavy fines, deportation, or even multi-year bans from re-entry. Imagine being locked out of the very place you now call home, not because of anything criminal, but because of missed paperwork or a misunderstood deadline. And then there's the tax puzzle. Some retirees are shocked to discover they still owe taxes back home and in their new country. Dual taxation treaties exist, but they're not automatic, and the rules are rarely straightforward. Property ownership can also be tricky. Some countries don't allow foreigners to buy land outright, or your property might not automatically pass to your spouse or kids without a local will in place. Inheritance laws, healthcare proxies, and even basic banking rights may differ dramatically from what you're used to. Honestly, moving abroad without checking the visa and legal framework is like building a house without checking the land title. You may enjoy the view until it all comes crashing down. The good news? Every legal challenge has a solution. If you're proactive, Work with immigration professionals, research residency options thoroughly, and make sure your legal and financial documents are valid in your new home. A little preparation today can save you a mountain of stress tomorrow. Number 6. Relationships under pressure. Retiring abroad is often imagined as the ultimate romantic escape. Sunlit strolls through markets, long beachside dinners, and shared adventures in a new land. And while that dream is real for some, what no one tells you is that the very thing that makes this lifestyle appealing, all that together time, can also put relationships under serious pressure. For couples, retirement means no more 9-to-5 routines, no more commutes, and no built-in daily breaks. You're suddenly spending nearly every moment together. At first, it feels like a second honeymoon, but over time, cracks can appear. That much closeness, without structure or space, can magnify little annoyances into big frustrations. One partner might adapt quickly to the new lifestyle and language, while the other struggles to connect. Resentment can quietly settle in where adventure was supposed to bloom. And if you're single, there's another layer. Making meaningful friendships abroad takes time, especially in places where the expat scene is mostly couples or younger travelers. Dating, too, can be complicated. Language barriers, cultural expectations, and assumptions about older foreigners can all get in the way of genuine connection. Even existing relationships back home can shift. Time zones, distance, and different life rhythms can weaken bonds with friends and family, making you feel more emotionally cut off than you anticipated. But here's the bright side. Awareness is half the battle. Strong relationships, romantic or platonic, thrive when given space to breathe. Make room for separate hobbies, solo walks, or time with new friends. Find your rhythm, not just as a couple or community member, but as an individual. Retirement abroad doesn't have to strain your relationships, but it will test them. Prepare for that, nurture your bonds intentionally, and you may come out even stronger on the other side. To sum it all up, living abroad isn't one long vacation, it's still life. It comes with joy, yes, but also with challenges, paperwork, loneliness, unexpected bills, and moments where Google Translate just isn't enough. But knowing this doesn't ruin the dream, it protects it. Realism doesn't take the magic out of retiring abroad. It gives you the tools to make that magic last. The retirees who thrive aren't always the wealthiest. They're the most adaptable, the most curious, and the ones who stay flexible when things don't go as planned. You see, freedom in retirement doesn't mean running away from everything familiar. It means creating a life that supports your health, your values, and your growth. One thoughtful decision at a time. So before you buy that one-way ticket, remember, you're not just choosing a destination, you're choosing a new way to live. Thank you so much for watching and spending your time with us here at Restful Wealth. If this video opened your eyes or gave you something to think about, please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who's planning their next chapter, and subscribe for more honest, helpful retirement content. Until next time, live simply, dream big, and don't forget the sunscreen.